What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. And today's vlog, we're going to be focusing on our 2011 Sierra Denali and basically take care of common issues that you will find with these vehicles, and basically tell you guys about the interior and some of the things that you might come across and how to fix them for very little money. So guys, there's 4 of those main common areas, and these are things that you can use to your advantage when trying to buy a truck. So this truck was listed at $18,800 when I went to go look at it, and the first thing I noticed was, of course, the cracked dash. Now, a replacement of the dash itself is pretty costly. The dash is one whole piece all the way to the front. So around the stereo, around the AC controls, everything, like the gauges, the driver's side glove box, all that is pretty much all one piece, and you can buy that whole piece new for about $600. And then you guys can see here the defrost vent, that piece is about $300. The AC controls, you have to replace that. The padding, all that stuff is stuff that you can use towards your advantage and say, hey, well, it's $18,900, that price for a very good truck, but there's a lot of things that I'm gonna have to do to fix and get it up to the good quality standards, and they drop your price. I was able to get these guys down from $18,800 to $17,900, so almost $900 off the truck, and we're gonna be able to fix this with less than $50 in parts. Here we have our defrosting vent. It's upside down, and you can see it's got a lot of clips, and these are actually not broken. These are good, and so that's good. This one had a crack here, so I did go ahead and clamp it and do Gorilla Glue, super glue. And as you guys can see, I tried various different things. This was some kind of like spray adhesive, which did not work, so I went back with the super glue, and I've installed one. This one was completely gone, so I just put this metal piece back and super glued that to the plastic, because that's all you really need. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all this main centerpiece was broken tab. The tabs were broken, so this whole centerpiece was loose, and that's what's causing the main dash to be loose as well. So to remove this defrosting piece, you are going to need to remove your pillars, and so on the driver's side you actually have a 7mm bolt that comes out, and then it's just one clip here. And on the passenger side you have your door handle, which uses 10mm bolts, the grab handle on the side. So it's 2 10mm bolts, and then it just pops right off. So let's get it on and show you what the finished product looked like. Check it out, guys. Now it is a lot more, as you guys can see here. I don't want to play too much with it because it still has about another 6 hours to get the full 24-hour cure, but there used to be a very large gap here, and I'll try to overlay a picture if I have one of how it was before, but it was just very gap where this defrost, those clips on the defrost vent were not clipping into this because they were broken, and you only had the 2 edge ones that were actually functioning properly. And now, I mean, it is just smooth as can be all the way across, and that should eliminate the vibrations when driving. I'm very excited about that. The second thing is these AC controls, and you can either do one or two things. Buy stickers like I've done here. As you guys can see, the AC controls look very well, very new, and they match pretty good. Or you can buy this whole unit refurbished for about $140 with a $200 core charge, because you have to return this. So $140 or $10 stickers. I went with the $10 stickers. Only caveat is that at night you can't, these stickers aren't translucent enough to really get the light to show, especially on buttons that aren't worn out. It's hard to tell what you are, so you just kind of have to know your way around the buttons. And now let's move on to this piece. So there's not really many instructions, but I'm assuming we got to remove this lower cover, which is just a lot of these star screws, to get to access to the rest of this piece. Alright guys, so we had to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws, and then we use just a little plastic pry tool, and make sure that you press down on the hinge here so that you can let this kind of pop out to pop this plastic piece out. Now that the plastic piece is out, you'll see what we want to do is we can remove this whole lid with these 1, 2, 3, 4 screws there, and that'll get this whole lid completely removed off of the swing assembly. Alright, so as you guys can see, we've got the 4 screws out. So here is our lid. Now we need to remove this trim piece, and all I can see is there's only 2 more screws here that are probably holding that whole piece together. Alright guys, I had to remove the top part here because there were another 4 screws holding this top piece in. Alright guys, there you have it. I basically went and popped off all these little staples, and this has a nice little harder shell here which I'm going to reuse. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, it is a tighter fit, and for $20, I mean, I wasn't expecting it. Doesn't have the same curve down here. I'm gonna have to pull that back down even more, but up in the front it looks good. Now we're just gonna have to start putting all the pieces and hope that the pressure can kind of hold it in place. Let's go ahead and start putting everything back together and show you guys what the finished product looks like. Okay, so there we have it guys. It is all back and installed and working properly. As you guys can see, the bottom didn't need to have to staple it. This actually came in, I'm assuming, a little smaller to allow the thing to not need to be stapled. I think it looks perfectly fine. It matches well with the rest of the texture, the colors of the truck, and for $20, I mean, it's better than paying, you know, I don't know how much money an OEM one would be, but I'm sure it's expensive. So now let's go ahead and show you guys how to do the rear seat and install those plastic isolators for the back seats. Okay guys, so the first thing you're gonna do is fold your seat up, but to remove the seats it's very simple. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and this whole seat can just kind of slide right back up. They are 18 millimeter. Alright guys, so we've removed the 4 base nuts, as you guys can see there in the back and over here on this side. Now before you can isolate and just remove this whole one small piece out, there are 2 10 millimeter bolts that are basically joining that small seat with this big section. So we've got to remove those 2 and they're 10 millimeters, and then that'll allow us to just remove this single seat by itself. Here you go guys. The seat is all the way up. Very simple. Like I said, those 2 bolts and then these 4 on the bottom, and this is the metal hook that latches on here. This isolator goes installed here, and there's actually a few notches here, and you'll see there's notches here and then one in the bottom. So it basically goes this way, and you can just slide it in to lock into place that way. So there it is installed, and whenever I installed it, I tried to do it with the seat on, and it was a lot more difficult, and I actually ended up installing it the wrong way. There you have it guys. The piece is back now. The seat is nice and firm. It doesn't wiggle back and forth. Without that little plastic piece, you could probably grab this upper part and just wiggle it back and forth and rattle it. So that is taken care of. Now I can put Sebastian's car seat back on, and we are done with this truck. So guys, there you have it. We just went through and fixed pretty much the most common problems that you can have when you buy a used vehicle like a Sierra Denali, a Silverado, or Yukon or Suburban of this 2007 to 2013 model year. We fixed the dash. The defrost vent cover was the one that was broken and actually causing the main dash to actually vibrate. We've fixed the clips. We were able to get the clips glued on, and that way it would hold everything in place and not vibrate. The AC controls, we used those stickers. You can find them on eBay, Amazon, super cheap, $10 with shipping, and that gives it a nice new look, and it matches the trim very well. We also did the dash, the cover for your armrest. I'm not a little happy about it. Well, I take that back. I'm glad that it doesn't have that stuff, but it still it's missing out on that smooth leatherette type feeling from the OEM. So I'm gonna keep the stock one and probably go to upholstery shop and see if they'll remake me something with that same type of finish. I might even just take them and have them do it, take them the lid and everything and have them do it themselves, and that way it'll be nice and professional and it'll be finished up. And we also got the seat rattling taken care of, which is another common problem. Very, very simple. The trim piece is, I believe, I got it on eBay. You can just type in like seat, I believe it's seats isolator, rear seat isolator trim piece, and it'll come up. It's very unique little U plastic shape. About $10 a piece, and there are 3 of them, so if you are going to replace all 3 of them, it's going to be $30. Nothing cheap, nothing too expensive, sorry. And that is it, guys. We were able to get all the pretty big major common problems fixed for under 50 bucks, really. $20 for that armrest cover, about $5 in super glue, and $10 in the armrest seat isolator. I mean, $10 on the seat isolator. That is really, really good, and I was able to get them to drop the price about $900 because of all those little issues. So if you're looking at buying a truck like this, definitely do not be concerned about the dash. Make sure that you can actually kind of get this stuff done pretty easily. So don't be concerned about the AC controls, don't be concerned about the armrest, the seat rattling, or the dash crack, because there's very, very inexpensive ways to get that fixed. And that pretty much does it for this vehicle. I'm gonna probably do a full paint correction similar to what I did with the Mustang, and then ceramic coating and all that, but that'll be coming up in the future videos. I do have a few things that came in for the truck, like the air intake kit and the actual flex fuel sensor kit for this truck. That stuff is all going to be installed when we go to Pat G's and dyno tune the Camaro with the heads and cam setup. We're going to go ahead and install that and do a tune on this vehicle. We can't do a dyno because it's all-wheel drive, and Pat G's dyno is not an all-wheel drive dyno, so we won't be able to do that, but we will be able to get it tuned so that we can get a little bit better fuel efficiency and also increase that power for when we're towing the 2019 Camaro SS. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it's informative and helps you guys out if you're on the fence of buying a truck but see all these little issues. Don't be, go ahead and get it. It's very easy, and you can do it yourself and fix it for very, very, very cheap. I'll see you guys in the next video.